All right, guys, welcome back. This is the fourth now of our table tennis chat series. I'm Mark, player and coach from Cahill, and today I want to welcome Tim. So, Tim, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Tim Cahill. I am a player for Bear Flat B Table Tennis Club. I'm also the captain. Been playing now just finished my third season in Division 2, and thankfully we got promoted this year. We won Division 2, so uh, so yeah, Division 1 next year, which will be cool when we can get playing again.
Exactly. I mean, you'll be joining some good company. I think I'm going to be staying up in that league. So no, it should be good fun to do battle because I think we're both quite similar players. What I want to ask you first, really, is when did you first sort of pick up a bat and get started in the sport, really, and your little sort of, I call it origin story, to see how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I've been playing for a long time. Probably, I mean, I'm over 10 years now. I first started playing in I had a local youth club back when I was I think I was probably about 12, and someone from my local church had kind of seen a few of us playing at the youth club and said to us, "Oh, I'm thinking about setting up a table tennis club on a Friday after school. How do you fancy it?" kind of thing. So I was well up for it. So I thought, yeah, why not? It gives me something to do on a Friday after school. Nice kind of start to the weekend, bit of fun with my mates. And then yeah, it kind of spiraled from there. Really, I played there from when I was about 12 till when I came to uni when I was 18. Played a bit when I was at uni, and then eventually joined joined the league. But I mean, the club I started at when I was 12 is still going now, run by a guy called Paul, who's an absolute legend. He's been running it he's been there pretty much week in week out for 10 years plus now. And yeah, he really kind of inspired, I guess, the passion in me to learn how to play and to improve myself. And he's put some hours into helping coach me, teach me how to actually use a backhand, because when I first started I was entirely forehand. I'd run around the table playing forehand only until he forced me to learn how to play on the backhand. But yeah, and it's just been it feels like a long journey now to get to where I am. But yeah, that's kind of where I started, really.
Perfect. And where was home for you? What was the name of that club that you joined?
So home is a small town near Leeds in Yorkshire called Guiseley, and it was just the Guiseley Baptist Church Table Tennis Club. So yeah, they're still going now. They've got a kids group and an adults group. Whenever I can, I get back there and go to the sessions and see people and try and help the youngsters out a little bit with some tips. Paul, like I said, who runs it, he likes to make a fuss at me when I go back because I'm playing league now. So it's nice to be able to kind of, I guess, give something back to him and the club. And yeah, there's some youngsters there who are really keen to improve. So it's nice to be able to help out using my very minor coaching skills and pretty small talent. It's nice to be able to help those guys out a bit.
Well, yeah, and that surprised me as well when you said you're all forehand play, because obviously I've seen you play and sort of played with you in a summer league, but I see you more as a defensive player. So I can't imagine you running around the table hitting these forehands.
Yeah, I used to be a super aggressive player when I was younger. I guess it's just how you want to play when you're younger, don't you? You just want to attack all the time. But yeah, I used to be entirely forehand, and now I feel like my backhand is stronger than my forehand. So yeah, I guess it's just the way your game develops over time, and you certainly my game's changed a lot since I started playing in the league. So yeah, I just kind of play what I can to win, really. I'm super competitive, so I hate losing. So I try and adapt my style. I'd rather change my style and win than stick to my guns and lose. So yeah, it's just different players you come up against. I guess you play different ways.
So a bit like Mourinho, looking for those 1-0 victories rather than the 4-3s or 4-0s, whatever you.
Well, I can't say I'm a personal fan of Jose Mourinho, but I like I said, I am super competitive, so I do play to win. I don't play to stick to my style, but that's just personal choice, really.
So how did you win? You obviously, did you go to uni in Bath? Did you, or was it elsewhere?
Yes, I'm a uni of Bath student. I graduated a couple of years ago now, so I came down here in 2013, and played at uni for the first 2 years of my degree. I was on table tennis committee when I was in second year, so got a good chance to be involved in the club that way and try and promote the sport at uni, because table tennis can often be overlooked, I guess, by people coming to uni. You've got your glamorous sports like your football and your rugby and your hockey or whatever, and table tennis sometimes gets overlooked, but you find people still really enjoy it. So we really tried to kind of promote the kind of the society when we were at uni.
Yeah, that's excellent because I remember when I was a teenager growing up in Bath, there used to be several uni teams in the Bath and District Leagues, but then over time there hasn't been for I'd say a good 15 years maybe. Might just I guess there, but I haven't noticed anyone from Bath Spa or from Bath Uni competing in a team of students. So how did you sort of find out about league table tennis? Was it when you're at uni, or was it only afterwards when you started working in and around the town?
Yes, it was. It was actually while I was at uni. I went on placement when I was in third year, but I stayed living in Bath. And one of my housemates back then, a guy called Harry, had spotted that there was a local club, and he knew I played. He was like, "Oh, there's a table tennis session on a Thursday night at the All Saints Centre in Weston in Bath. Do you want to go and try it out sometime?" Because he was a keen tennis player, and so he thought, maybe he could transfer some skills to the smaller game. And he knew I'd played a lot, kind of at home and at uni. So I was like, yeah, let's give it a shot. So we went up one Thursday and started playing there, and met. I think the first night I was there, I met several players from the Bear Flat Club. I actually have it's an embarrassing story from my side really, but I'll tell it anyway. From my first session at Weston, so I rocked up thinking, I'm all right. I'm not great, but I can kind of hold my own. First person I played against up there was one Mr. Gary Oaten, who, Mark, I know you know very well. It's the first game ever at Weston. I'm trying to impress these people a little bit to try and prove that I deserve to be there, kind of thing. And Gary goes and beats me 11-0. Yeah. And so it was that fun. I was like, right, okay, I need to work on my game here. I need to improve. But from my perspective, it was a little bit embarrassing. But I played a few more games at night, did okay. And for me, it was just like, right, I need to improve really, and that's part of my drive since I've been playing really, is just to improve. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to do that is by playing people who are better than you. And so I thought, right, if these guys are better than me, then that's absolutely fine. Go down there a few times and yeah, just kind of play them a bit more and kind of get used to their styles and improve from there. And so myself and my friend Harry played at Weston for all of our placement year. And kind of over the course of the year, I got chatting to Gary and to John Hunter and John Turner, and they would talk about league. And at the end of the year, they said to me, "Oh, do you want to come and play for us in the league?" We're kind of at that point, Bear Flat had an A and a B team, and they said, "Oh, we're going to expand and have a C team because we've got some more players. Do you want to come and join?" And I was really keen. I'd never played competitively in my life. I never really thought I was good enough. Kind of over the course of the year, having played against league standard players, I kind of was really, really keen to give it a go, and they were thankfully kind of happy to give me that shot at playing in the league. And so, yeah, that was 3 seasons ago now, and here we are on the brink. Well, going into Division One next year. That's kind of how I came to be in the league, really.
Yeah, that's great. That's quite actually, inspiring for someone, first of all, seeking out the play, all thanks to Harry, isn't it, for helping you out there. And then sort of that luck and also that reigniting the fire of, improvement, self-improvement and mindset, really. And obviously now it leads me on quite nicely to sort of my other question, which was there's been a rapid rise of Bear Flat Table Tennis Club in the last few years because, again, historically, from going back to when I was sort of 2010 or sort of later than that when I was sort of a teenager in Bath, I don't think there was a Bear Flat club, or there might have just been a one team. What do you sort of put down that rise to? Because obviously there's a few sort of prominent members that we haven't mentioned yet who play for the A team. I mean, is there a certain ethos in the club or a certain driving force that has put Bear Flat on the map a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it, first and foremost, is just passion for the game. In order to really strive to succeed in the league, you need to have players that have a passion to improve the club and to do well. We've got some really, really passionate people in the club. Someone like Martin plays as every day if he can. He is super, super passionate, super driven to improve himself, and kind of that then translates and it goes across his team and then the whole club. I think just the ethos of the club in general is really, really great. I think I really love being part of the club because I think we're not just entirely about winning. I know I said, personally, I hate losing, and I do, but, I never feel under pressure from my teammates of, oh, you've got to win all 3 of your matches this week, otherwise we're going to be kind of thinking bad thoughts or whatever. And, I've never felt a pressure to perform. In my first season in the league, it wasn't like, oh, you've got to win X amount of matches, otherwise you're out of the team kind of thing. And so, that's, for me, that's just a really, really great club ethos to have, because sure, we want to do well, but at the end of the day, we're there to enjoy ourselves, create a good spirit, good gamesmanship as well. We kind of, as a club, we always strive to be kind of professionals, if you will, in terms of how we act. And, obviously that kind of, we've got some very talented players in the team. Paul Green, for one, I think he went unbeaten in Division One this year. I think, which is absolutely no mean feat whatsoever. He's a fantastic player. And, the A team did really, really well to get second place in Division 1 this year. So they'll be in the Prem. So, we're going to have a team in the Prem, a team in Division 1 and a team in Division 2, which is, it's great for us as a club to kind of have that stretch across the leagues. So yeah, I think just in general, we've got some really passionate people and some people who put a lot of time into kind of running the club. Justin, our club secretary, does a lot of work behind the scenes. Where it's not necessarily kind of the most glamorous job in the world, but he works really hard and does a lot of kind of background work for us, which makes our lives as players and, for me, captain, a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, I think, certainly Paul Green, I think he went through the whole season getting man of the match awards in every single game he played, which was an amazing feat. I managed to play up for our A team once last season, and I played him. I got on all right against the other two, got my points on the board, but then against Paul Green, I could see him literally stepping through gears as he went through the game against me, which was incredible to watch. It's like an automatic car just going through the revs, basically. A lot more, I think, to give. He's almost playing inside of himself, but in a nice way. And again, me and Justin have had some cracking battles over the years, and like you say, he does a lot for the not just for Bear Flat, but for the league as well, with the involvement of the website at the moment as well, which has been tremendous, really. And one thing I do commend yourselves on as well is the actual kit you guys wear, because throughout all of your clubs, you've all got the same shirts and the same kit, which some people might think maybe that's over the top for a hobby sport, but I actually think that we should take pride in what we do, because we're playing it once a week in the league, and like you say, it's a club atmosphere, a club ethos. So yeah, I think that goes a long way to creating that strong sort of mentality to the badge, if you like, or to your you actually do have the Bear badge, and actually took a picture of it. Yeah.
Sorry, I should have worn my kit tonight, really, shouldn't I? That would have been a good idea. But yeah, I mean, whilst some people might think it's overkill, that's fine, that's up to them. But for us, it's just kind of something that connects us all as players. Say a big thank you on that to Keith Gammon, who organised it all, sorted everything, got the logo designed, got everything sorted for us. All we had to do was, paying the money for the shirts, and they were literally delivered straight to my front door by Keith himself. So, Justin's secretary, but like other people in the club do work behind the scenes. The captains, Keith doing that. There's kind of people organising socials. We do a lot of kind of socials as a team. Like one of the first kind of interactions I had as a member of the team was even before I played my first match. We had a barbecue as a team, and all the new players and all the existing players all met up and just kind of got to know each other a bit in a kind of social atmosphere, which was just really nice for me to kind of to get to know everyone and kind of, I guess, relaxed me a little bit in terms of kind of spending time around these people and not feeling like, oh, I've got to win every match to prove myself and this, that, and the other, because some of them have been playing in the league for many years. And, like I said, we've got some fantastic players. So yeah, it's just a great club to be a part of, really. I really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, also, I noticed that it was around about Christmas time. I think the last week of Christmas, we were due to play your A team in Division 1, but they asked whether they could rearrange, and it was for a little club tournament. Was there any shock results or anything in that little tournament you guys played before Christmas?
Yeah, so we play like a little mini kind of handicap tournament across as many people as can be there, so A, B, and C teams. I think the final of that was me and Gary Gary just edged me out. I mean, I say edged, I mean that literally he hit the edge of the table several times in that final game. He won that 2-1. But, I'm not bitter at all, but no, we all, like, it's a really great kind of opportunity as a club just to kind of play some more casual table tennis and just have a bit of fun. And, kind of that time of year, especially we do one at Christmas and we do one at the end of the season as well, just a nice chance to kind of to celebrate being part of a great club. And, we have some like inter-club awards and that kind of stuff. And it's just a great chance to, especially be thankful to, people like I said, like Justin, who does a lot for the club, and Paul organises the socials, and the captains have to do work to kind of organise teams and get people to games and this, that, and the other. So yeah, we try and keep it lighthearted and not get too competitive in the club tournaments. But yeah, it's good fun, and we've got quite a kind of range of people. We've got like Tim Green, who's been our little superstar ringer this year, who's, I think Tim's 16. I apologise if I got that wrong. And then we've got kind of other players who've been playing for a lot longer than me and other Tim. We've also got Lucy. It's great to have a woman as part of the club, which we'll come back to later, I'm sure. But so we've got a really kind of great variety of people. So it's nice because, especially being part of 3 separate teams, if we're playing on different nights, we don't get to see each other all that often. So it's nice just to kind of come together as a big group.
True. I mean, I hope Ken Wilson is watching this interview, because there's a few ideas that we could implement for ourselves down at Key Centre, hopefully. But I just remembered, it just popped into my head now, going back to Keith Gammon and the first time I played him, because obviously he's a left-hander, isn't he? And I remember playing him in the league, and he was, it's the first time I ever met a guy, he was 2 sets up against me, and I was like, what's going wrong? What can't I do against this guy to stop him? And Sue, my captain, took me aside and said, Mark, you do realise he's left-handed? I was like, I looked at the hand he was holding. Oh, okay, I need to put everything the other way. And then I played him and won 3-2. But that was quite a scare the first time I played him. But really nice chap, like you say. Really, really good guys you've got in your team there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what you get when you play in the league, is you get lots of different styles and different ways of playing. And, there is no easy games. Everyone has different, certain parts of their game which are like really, really on point. And if they can utilise those effectively, we've like, especially for me, I struggle against people who can serve really well. I'm not a great returner of serve. So, there are people in our club and in the league who, if I've got to be really careful with their serves, because if I start popping their serves up, then I'm kind of losing the games. So that is a real kind of, I guess, eye opener when I joined the league, is there was no easy games. You get kind of upsets, as you call them, all the time. People that you maybe wouldn't expect to beat, other people do, and you just got to kind of keep your head in the game, I guess.
Yeah, because I've mainly played Division 2 for most of my time in the Bath leagues, and or the old Division 3 when there was one. But that bottom division is actually surprisingly strong. Like you say, lots of surprises, lots of different styles of play, and lots of players that have played for longer than we've been alive, to be fair. So there is a lot of different styles to get used to, and like you say, maybe change into a more defensive style, or really working on that forehand, etc. You've got to go sort of 2 extremes. You can't go in sort of half-heartedly. And one of the things I noticed in Division 1 this year, obviously I had a taste of it a couple of years back, but this year in particular, a lot more players are playing a lot sort of more certain shots down your line. So either forehand to forehand, or forehand straight down to your backhand right on the edge of the table. So, you've got to be really on your toes, which brings on nicely really to, what are your sort of, first of all, team aspirations for Division 1 next year? And then your own personal ones, if you've set any.
I mean, I guess from a team aspiration, our kind of aspiration number 1 is to stay up. It's often the case that, a Division 2 team will go up and then come straight down. They might kind of go up and down consecutively for several seasons or whatever. We've seen that with a few teams. So, goal number 1 has to be, staying up. From a personal perspective, I've not really kind of set myself, a numerical number that I'm trying to get to, like an average wise. I just want to obviously win as many games as I can, and I ultimately just improve my game. Like I really want to get more consistent, because I've had games this year in Division 2 where I've switched off or just kind of not had a particularly good evening, and it's easier to get away with that in Division 2 than it will be in Division 1. Like I'm going to be going in at the bottom of the pile in Division 1, so I'm going to have to kind of prove that I'm kind of a Division 1 standard player, as I had to do when I came into Division 2. And so, I'm not expected to go in there and beat everyone. That would just be naive. But I would like to think I can win a few games. I've played some Division 1 players in the past. I've played Division 1 players in the Cup and beaten some of them. So, I'd like to think I'm going to win a few, but I'm not going to kind of count my chickens or anything. I just want to really work hard on improving my game. And when we can get back to playing, I want to kind of get some practice in this summer ahead of whenever we can restart the league, to really kind of hone some skills. And like I said kind of earlier on, in my opinion, one of the best ways to improve is playing people who are better than you. And that's what I'm going to be doing for a lot of this season in Division 1. And so, my main aim is just, from a personal perspective, is just to improve.
Yeah, good answer, to be fair. Because, I found that obviously going up last year and sort of managing or being the captain of the team, you really have to sort of pick your battles and think about the personnel of who you're putting in and, what game is right for them, really. So, yeah, I think you certainly got a lot of learning to do next season. And, yeah, hopefully by the end of it, I know all the guys in your team, very well. And, I think you will make a dent into some of the existing teams up in there. So, yeah, fingers crossed we can both be in the mix for staying in that league next year. So do you know much about, we talked about Bath quite a lot, Division 1, Division 2, and obviously we've got the Premier League as well, which is, another big stepping stone to aspire to. Do you know much about the table tennis sort of structure or scene outside of Bath, what goes on above?
I mean, the short answer to that is no. It's something I really want to kind of learn more about. I do watch some kind of YouTube. I watch Table Tennis Daily, Dan Ives, who I'm sure some people who are watching this will know. Dan has coached some of the Bare Flat team actually, and so I watch some of his videos where he goes to kind of events and meets some top players. He's played with Timo Boll and other players, but it's something I kind of really want to learn more about in terms of how, especially like at the kind of the top level, your Timo Bowls and your Marlongs, how does their season look? I've watched bits of it when it's been on, Sky or the BBC or whatever, watched bits of it at the Olympics, but it's not really kind of something that I know much about. Like I can kind of, if we're talking football, I can reel off half the teams in, League Two or whatever, but I know nothing about the kind of the top echelons of table tennis. But yeah, it's something that I kind of really want to, I guess, learn more about. And, maybe it's an event in the UK. I know sometimes there's stuff at Bath Uni that goes on, Grand Prix events. I'd quite like to go up there and watch some of that, and just kind of, I guess, watch some higher quality table tennis and see what I can pick up. And like even kind of to give an insight into kind of my knowledge about stuff. Like I don't even know what rubbers I have on my bat. Like I borrowed my bat from Keith. Played with it for a few games, liked it, and was like, "Oh, I'm going to buy me one of these. Keith, can you tell me where you bought it from, what it was?" And so, you don't have to be an expert to, play in the leagues, but yeah, it's something I really want to kind of to learn more about. So yeah, I guess just immerse myself in a bit more to see what I can pick up and just to what, because I enjoy watching table tennis as well as playing it. I enjoy watching high quality games, whether it's sometimes if I'm kind of sat watching a Division 2 game, I'll be watching kind of what's going on 2 tables down or whatever, if there's a Prem game going on or whatever, which I probably shouldn't admit, but I'm sure we all do it. And so, to be able to watch even higher quality is something that I'm really kind of keen to do. And then kind of how that flows down, like Dan with his Table Tennis Daily, they've set up a team that playing in, I'm not even sure what the league's called, but they're videoing their games and showing highlights and stuff, which is a really, really interesting watch, which I would kind of urge anyone to watch.
Well, yeah, just picking up on a couple of those points there. I definitely know what you mean about the blades and the rubber situation because, I've just used whatever's been sort of passed on or recommended to me. The names of, sort of a 10G or a, 501 or a, flip-flap mat 26, whatever, doesn't mean anything to me. It was actually Ricardo that chose my bat for me, sort of test out a couple of different styles, different rubbers, and then I found out that, these rubbers were up about 15 quid a sheet. So, I bought the blade and, stuck a couple of rubbers on and away you go. So, yeah, definitely not, like equipment wise. And so like you said about the Table Tennis Daily team. So they play in like the British Senior League, but I think there's a couple of different levels of that league. And then you've got county levels somewhere underneath that. And then you've also got GPs about 8 times a year. So like we've experienced on the other couple of shows, it's very murky and grey. Anything in the UK above our sort of local league level is for us like, sort of hobby players, enthusiasts, if you like, it's very hard to actually picture and visualize that clear pathway of, right, I'm in the Bath Prem, where do I go from that step? So maybe it's something that, Table Tennis England needs to look at and help us out with a sort of roadmap, or whether it's just down to our local committees educating players who want to improve and who are at that step, where to go then. Because otherwise, our leagues do get a bit stagnant because in Bath, it's a very small community. But luckily for us, because we get promoted and, we're facing new people, it's great. But for some of those people maybe that have been in the Premier, maybe they're playing the same faces over and over again, which, they're not getting those quality games against the better players then to improve themselves. So, yeah, definitely some good 4 points there. And so with yourself, you're one of the, how do I say it? You're actually one of the youngest people in the league. Which, you do look about 16, but I know you're not 16. um, but I mean, how do you think we can, especially in Bath? I mean, there's a couple of clubs like I think it's Bath Ford in Div 2 have got a couple of young players. Our Key Centre had a couple of younger players. But how do we sort of, in your layman's terms, if you like, how do we kind of try and attract more young players to the sport locally?
Yeah, I think it's a really kind of interesting and somewhat difficult question. Like you say, we don't have a whole lot of younger players in the league. I think in Division 2, I think I might be the only one between the ages of about 18 and 30. I've just turned 24, so there aren't that many people in my age bracket. We have a few, like you said, younger kids. You've got Chris and James at Key Centre, and we've got Evan and Tom at Bathford. So I think part of it is kind of trying to get people involved in it a bit more when they're in school. Like I know St John's, obviously where we play our home games, they have tables and they play a bit there. One of the teachers is a member of the league, and he runs the women's session as well that they have at St John's. And I played a little bit when I was at school, and so I guess it's trying to like promote the sport a bit more, because like I said earlier on, it's not one of your more glamorous sports like your football and your rugby and hockey, netball, whatever. So I think trying to get the kids potentially playing when they're in school a bit, even if it's just at lunchtime. Or like you are doing a great job trying to promote it at the Somerdale Pavilion. Is that right? Is that the right name? I know you get quite a lot of youngsters down there. And I guess the important thing as well is for the youngsters to realise it's not necessarily all about becoming a league player. If you just want to play casually, then that is okay. Obviously, we want more players in the league, absolutely, but we also just want to promote the sport in general. And the sport is not just about being a full-on competitive league player who's desperate to, go and play for Somerset or England or whatever. But we just want to, from my perspective anyway, we want to encourage people to just enjoy the sport, however that kind of comes about. And for someone like me, when I was younger, that was improving, and that was, being the best, and it still is now, being the best player that I can be. But I also know, like I said, the club that I kind of grew up playing in back up in Yorkshire. When I go back there now, they have some kids who really want to improve and really want to kind of talk to me, and they have another coach there about how to improve their game. But there's others that just kind of want to have a bit of a laugh for a couple of hours and, they play some good standard table tennis, but they're not necessarily worried about playing competitively. And so I think we've just got to kind of encourage people to play in whatever aspect kind of they choose. I would love more kind of young players, either under 18 or even kind of my age, to be playing in the league. I really want to see the Bath League expand. Bristol, I think they have 7 divisions, maybe even more than that. Bath, we have 3, and I'd really love to see that, become 4 or 5 in a few years' time, whatever. And so I'm really kind of keen to help promote the Bath League wherever I can. And, I think the other thing about it is kind of, as I said, when I joined Bear Flat, it wasn't all about winning. And, we've got to try and, I guess, inspire that confidence in the younger players as well. It's okay to lose matches. I think it's difficult when you're younger, you just want to win all the time. I think that's kind of quite a natural instinct for lots of kind of kids, and it still is for me, like I said. But I think it's about kind of encouraging people that actually it's not the end of the world if you lose some matches. Getting that experience can really, really aid your game. Like, I know, like, Chris and James are fantastic players, and I'm sure I believe their first season in the league. If they play again next year, they're going to just go up the averages, because you just getting that experience just really kind of helps. It happened to me. I did significantly better in my second season than I did in my first. And so, trying to, I guess, inspire them to think, actually, if I lose some matches, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of, it's good experience to play. But I think also one of the other things which I wanted to kind of touch upon maybe now is the two-a-side league, which has been introduced in Bath. I don't know how much you know about this, but Pete Gallier has kind of organised the two-a-side league with, I think we had 6 teams in it. And I think that's actually potentially a good gateway for younger players, because it's a bit of a shorter evening, because some of the matches can kind of go on into the evening quite late. Like I remember when we played Key Centre C this season, I don't think we left Keynsham until it was gone 10:30, I think. So it's quite a long evening for some of the youngsters, especially if they have school next day or whatever. Whereas the two-a-side league is significantly shorter evenings, and is a bit more casual. You know, you play 2 games of singles and a doubles match at the end. So I think that is potentially a really good kind of gateway for some of the kind of the younger people in the league, or those interested in the league, to really get involved. And hopefully that will kind of, it's still relatively new. We had a two-person aside summer league, and then we've had the winter league as well, which obviously got cut short because of everything that's happened with COVID. But hopefully, if we can kind of keep that rolling a little bit, and get more people involved, that potentially is a good gateway for younger people.
Well, yeah, I guess especially then if you include a third, if you would have 2 youngsters in a team, you would include the coach or the mentor, if you like, with those 2, sort of helping them through that evening. And the other point I want to pick up from what you were saying there about the glamour of table tennis. I mean, when I was a kid, very similar backstory to you. I think I was about 10 years old when, someone from my church actually who played in the league, Judy Higgs, she came to our school and sort of introduced us to table tennis. And, I kind of liked it because I wasn't into football, rugby, hockey. That wasn't my scene, because you had, especially when I went to senior school, you had an all-boys school. And so you had all the big macho, blokes walking around the corridor in their football jackets and what have you. And that for me wasn't for me. It's still, so I love football now, but it's, that's not what I'm all about. So that sort of alternative world of table tennis and seeing, luckily my dad played, so I had someone to look up to in that respect, to see what you could actually achieve, a little trophies and write-ups in the paper. But, that experience of it being an alternative sport, a different way to actually achieve and get good at something, was very valuable to me, learning life skills and meeting older people. So, and I think that's probably why James and Chris in the league have done so well, because they've played week in, week out with people ranging from their own age all the way through to about 84 years old, and everybody in between. So they've had that exposure for a good 2 years, or James a little less. Chris has been doing it a little bit longer, but they've had exposure to playing doubles, playing singles, and having a little bit of advice given to them for about 2 years before joining the league. And so we've got another 2 players who are going to come through again this year, who are, I think they're a year younger, or 2 years younger than these lads. So they're 14 turning 15, I think. But, we're hoping to introduce those 2 lads. We're mentioning again, Nathan Cundy and Andy Quinn. So yeah, they're going to come through and do quite well, hopefully. And they actually had a little bit of early success with the under-15s competition in Bath, where, again, they were exposed for about 2 years to adult play. And we treat them as adults in our club. And so when they then went to the under-15s tournament in Bath, they actually became winner and runner-up. So, we've got the 2, if you like, champions who are actually now going to test themselves further. But like you say about that two-a-side league as well, that would be a good training ground, for younger players. And, we were going to use a summer league this year if COVID didn't happen, to actually put Andy and Nathan in, some more competitive games to see how they take the rigors of table tennis, essentially in a bit more of a competitive environment without being uber, uber competitive, I guess, really, to see how they get on. So yeah, all very exciting stuff to come through. I just think that we somehow, like you say, need to tap into not necessarily maybe junior schools, or maybe the last couple of years of junior school, but also maybe then senior schools, year 7, year 8s, who are sort of 12, 13, 14, and just see if there's any kids there. They don't have to be the most sporty kid in the world, but if there's any kids watching this and you want to try a different kind of sport that uses your mind as much as it does your physical attributes, then yeah, give table tennis a go, basically. You'll be quite surprised of what you can and can't do very, very quickly in the sport. So yeah, very good. And so my other sort of probing question, which again is quite a tricky one, but I don't mind asking tricky questions, is very similar to that one. But how do we get more women involved in the sport? Because, well, girls and women, because obviously we've talked about Sue in my team, we've talked about Lucy in your team, who's actually an international player, quite inspiring story for her. But how do we increase those numbers of women in the league? It's a bit of a difficult one for me to answer, but I'll throw it out to you as well there.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is a difficult question. and I'm not entirely sure I'm best placed to answer this, but I can kind of give my 2 cents. I think we do have a women only session at St John's, which I think is kind of a good starting point. They play their session just before we start our matches, so I often arrive just as they're kind of finishing up, and they have quite a few people there. So I think that's a good starting point. I think one of the advantages about table tennis is, in my opinion, gender doesn't affect ability. I think there's no reason why there are women in the league who are significantly better than I am, and so I don't think there's a kind of a gender barrier there, which you might get in other sports, which I think is really, really good, and I think that helps. I guess it is just all about trying to promote the sport more, as it is with the kids. It's about just kind of making people more aware of what's going on, what opportunities there are. We have a number of sessions across Bath and the surrounding areas kind of weekly when things can run as normal, for people to go to. We have the session at All Saints Western. There's a session at St John's, which is available to anyone. There's the women only session at St John's as well. The one that you run as well, that's open to anyone. So I think just increasing, I guess, awareness, and I guess kind of connecting people who are interested with some of the women that already play in the league as well is really important. And they can kind of share their experiences, what it's been like, and how they've got to playing in the Bath League. And like I said, Lucy's represented TB a couple of times, and Sue's been playing for many years. So those guys and other players in the league have kind of great experiences that they can talk about, kind of inspiring stories, and kind of a proof that there's nothing stopping women from being involved in the game and from doing well in the league, and there are opportunities for that to happen. And so I guess from my side, awareness is one of the key things, and I guess similar to kind of we talked earlier on about youngsters, it's the same for girls when they're in school. There's absolutely no reason why they shouldn't be playing table tennis. And so again, promoting in schools will help with that, hopefully, to kind of develop some younger girls who want to play. And I know there are some at the St John's women's session who, I don't know how old they are, but they're kind of school age, and have kind of got their first taste by playing in school and have come into these sessions more regularly. And so that's kind of, I guess, my take on it, from maybe not the best position to offer my opinion, but kind of that's what I can think. And from my side, there's never been any kind of gender bias or barriers to women playing in the Bath League. I can absolutely say 100% there is absolutely no issue there whatsoever, which is maybe not what you get in other sports or other kind of places potentially. And so I'd really encourage any women watching this who don't play in the league or don't play at all, who want to get involved, kind of get involved, comment on the video, talk to Mark, whatever. There's loads of opportunities to get involved. And obviously it's kind of, I guess, the more women that can get involved, hopefully the more it kind of spirals in that regard to get more people involved. Because there's a few women in every division, but the ratio of men to women is heavily kind of skewed towards the men. But there's no reason why we can't change that.
And so spitballing off of those sort of answers from the junior and the women's, it's awareness is the glaring elephant in the room, if you like. Would social media be the main sort of avenue? I mean, I find that social media is one of the things I look at most, because all the time it's in your pocket, it's on your phone. Yet we don't possibly, we certainly haven't in the past had the right skill sets to actually change that online. But I've tried to set up a little Facebook page and put bits and pieces on there. But do you feel we should be putting more content out, on a more regular basis to try and spread awareness of our leagues and our playing opportunities, that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're in an age now where social media is ever present, and the vast majority of people are on social media, and so that is, I guess, ultimately probably the number one way to reach people. We have a really great platform that we can kind of build on. You're doing some great work with this channel and the other work you do for the league, in trying to promote the sport. And I guess we really just need to kind of keep pushing with that. And maybe we can even get some videos of games. People, like, if we played a match in Division One next year, we can maybe record it and we can put that online if people want to watch and have a bit of a laugh at us playing badly. Just kind of to get more people kind of watching, because I personally feel table tennis is quite an exciting sport to watch. You get some really great rallies and stuff. So even if we have to edit videos to cut together some really great points or whatever, we can kind of do something like that. I know Keith Gammon recorded some of his matches in the league to kind of so he could watch them back and kind of try and coach himself or show them to his coach and kind of improve from that regard. And there's nothing stopping us from doing that with them putting it online, as long as obviously people are willing to have their matches put online. I think that's a great opportunity, and then we can showcase some of the women that play in that regard and kind of try and promote it through that aspect or whatever. So yeah, I really think social media is a really great platform to try and push the league and to push the opportunities that are there for us as players, be it casual, be it I want to be in the Prem, be it I want to play for GB, whatever. I think that is the way forward, and I'm kind of keen to, like I said, you've done some great work. I'm keen to help build on that wherever I can help, and really kind of push to get our results out there more. I think we sometimes get our results published in the Bath Chronicle.
Yeah.
We publish them on our website, but we should be tweeting them out. We should be putting them out on Facebook, whatever. The more publicity we can do, the better. And obviously, the difficulty with that is time. But we have a lot of players in the league who can help, and I'm sure there are people more than just us two who are passionate about spreading the word about table tennis and who would happily get involved. And so I think it's just a case of us trying to really build on a platform that we have. And we can talk to women in the league, we can talk to the youngsters in the league and go, right, how did you hear about this spot? How did you hear about us? What else can we do? What would make you want to come and play table tennis on a Friday night or whatever? In terms of like youngsters and kind of getting them more involved, I think you'll find a lot of young people, like you won't find many young people who don't like table tennis. People who've played it when they're on holiday or, like kind of I said, youth clubs or whatever. You won't find many people who are like, oh yeah, I absolutely hate playing table tennis. And so I think there's a really great platform there to build on with kids and with, I guess, women as well. Is table tennis is just quite fun to play, even if you just want to play casually. So yeah, I really feel like we've got a great chance to really expand what we do.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the second most played sport in the world, table tennis. I think I'm right in saying that. Like you say, everyone's picked up a bat before. Everyone's played on a holiday, socially, at school, out in town, in the ping parlours in Bristol, etc. But yeah, capitalising on those rallies. So like you say, I liken table tennis to a computer game that you can never, ever complete because you're always finding ways to improve it. You never know that person, that man or woman on the other side of the table from you, where they're going to put the ball. I mean, you can read it, 99% of the time, maybe, if you're a very, very good player. But that 1% is the time you get caught out and it's an amazing shot or it hits the net, the edge. They're all exciting points to me. But yeah, I think someone's definitely inviting himself on to be an admin of the Facebook page with a few of those comments. But in all seriousness, no, I am trying to build a little media team. So, I won't hold you to what your comments on here to force your arm. But yeah, certainly it's good to hear that other people are as passionate as well. And I've been speaking to Ricardo privately and on our little chat the other week about getting little video clips of maybe not entire games if it's not possible or someone's not comfortable in front of camera, but certainly just almost just hold the phone in front of your face, talk into it how that sort of match or game went, put your phone down and, do that in between points, etc. Not in between points, but in between games or at the end of the game, just to create those little snippets of content that then can all be pasted together into one sort of package to show a little snapshot of our week in table tennis, if you like, to show what we've been doing in the Bath leagues. So yeah, all very exciting stuff. I mean, I'm kind of really looking forward to the season to start, but then it's the trepidation of when will it actually start because of this horrible situation we're in at the minute with the world. Yeah. But yeah, that's it essentially from me. So I wondered whether you want to put me on the uncomfortable spot now and ask away any questions, really.
I mean, my burning question, which you're probably not going to want to answer, is what's your squad for next year?
My squad for next year, yeah.
Contract's not signed yet.
No one's signed up yet. No, everyone's a free agent. Me and you are free agents, so that's fine. But no, my squad for next year will be as competitive as it possibly can be. I've got a few players in my mind of who I want. I don't think I can pinch you, unfortunately. I wouldn't be fair seemingly to Paul and Justin, etc. So won't even entertain that thought process much. But yeah, there's a few people that aren't league players that I want in my team if possible. But yeah, until I have those conversations, yeah, I think we'll see how that goes. But I think I'm going to be potentially losing quite a few of my team, and whether I even change and go to the A team or the because we finished above the A team last year. Have I mentioned that on every single episode yet? So
Maybe.
yeah, key centre B finish above the A team, Ken, just in case you're watching there. So yeah, there is going to be decisions inside the club as to where we put our teams in and what we do. Really, I'm very passionate in having two teams in Division One because we've earned the right to be there, and I very tactically and thoughtfully, sort of put my all into getting the B team to where it is. Unfortunately, maybe I'll lose half the players, 90% of the players. I don't know what that will look like, but yeah, until we know when the league's starting and what the format's going to be, yeah, all up in the air. But I'm excited, absolutely buzzing to get back to it and yeah, unleash some dogged fight on the table and yeah, try and get those nets and edges really.
Yeah, absolutely. Other questions I had. Okay, this is a very easy one. Singles or doubles?
Oh, doubles, I'd say, surprisingly. I like the randomness of it, and yeah, I've played a lot of doubles competitions. So if I was playing a straight up competition, I'd go doubles all day long. Yeah.
I completely agree. That's my answer as well. I love playing doubles. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like having two players and kind of having to move around a bit more just kind of adds an extra dimension to the game, which I really enjoy. The Barefoot B team have put in some really good doubles performances this year, so it's always enjoyable to play. And getting a chance to play alongside Tim Green is just an absolute wonder kid. So just getting to be on the table with him when he's playing some amazing shots is just great to watch. So yeah, no, I completely agree. And then I guess final thought / question from me is just to reiterate what I said earlier on, just a thank you to you for kind of the work you're doing to promote the league and to promote table tennis as a whole. Thank you for having me on here as well. And I guess to me and to the other viewers, what are your plans for the channel and what else do you want to kind of maybe expand into in a few months when we can get back playing again?
Yeah, so no, I appreciate that. That's very humbling. Yeah, I didn't expect that. So yeah, appreciate that. And just the last point on the doubles bit as well. That's going to be crucial for you guys next season to yeah, tactically think out who you're playing in doubles because I think you'll get a lot of surprising points in that. Because for those who don't know, the Bath League play up to 30 points, so there's 3 points on offer for a win. So I think yeah, crucial will be doubles form for you next season. In terms of me and what I'm trying to do, I just want to get everyone I can picking up a bat and ball and playing the game. It sounds very airy-fairy, but what you'll see on this channel that you've seen at the moment is weekly updates of my world of table tennis. So at the minute, there's no battle ball, unfortunately. So yeah, crying emoji. Imagine if I edit something there, but I probably won't. So yeah, it's so yeah, putting the weekly updates up, showing people other bits of content to go and follow and go and view. There's loads about at the minute. I could reel off the ping pong show with Ashley and Liam. You've got Talking Balls with our two star England players and Steve Bailey, who's been a very surprising voice on that show. I didn't know who Steve Bailey was. Turns out he used to be a very good table tennis player when he was younger, and he's very articulate and very very sort of determined in getting his questions answered. So it's been refreshing change of pace. And then Rory Scott, and there's lots of other ones I can mention as well there. But then in terms of what I'm looking to do from that point on, is do more of these table tennis chats because I think they're invaluable for locally getting our local voice out. Because what I want to do is sort of be different from the other chat shows because I call them elite players on the other shows. Whereby they've all played at like a national level, higher than county, but and that's great because that's very knowledgeable for us to learn from them. What I want to do is keep it a little bit more grounded if I can and just kind of tell stories of the characters first and foremost in the Bath leagues, in the Bristol leagues, and then yeah, possibly elsewhere as well. I've had a couple of little irons in the fire to go out and see different clubs around the country, so be that London, Middlesbrough, Birmingham, different places like that. So yeah, as soon as we can move around, I'll definitely maybe do a couple little day trips, go out and see a few of them. And then, yeah, obviously get some footage of me awkwardly trying to play with my dodgy backhand style and, yeah, moving over to the forehand. So, yeah, much different than in your style growing up. Yeah, so get footage of me playing. I did have a rough idea to play as many players as I could in a year and film these games. So that's still potentially in the pipeline. But yeah, I won't announce too much of that just in case it doesn't happen. And then also try and get a few more sort of non-table tennis players on here as well. It might seem odd, but the idea behind that is players that potentially have played in the past and now have moved on to other bits and pieces. There's a few of my ex-teammates that have gone on and done wonderful things, be it in religion, in politics, in a few different areas like that. So getting those key players back, so you guys know who you are. So yeah, get in touch if you can. And then yeah, also get in games against them as well. So having a little chat like we're doing now, but then actually getting up, going to a table and getting a game. So yeah, hopefully, yeah, next sort of how do we put a time scale on this? Next sort of 12 months, you'll see a lot more action on the table. Hopefully, you won't be seeing stuff like blade reviews or rubber reviews because, as we've established, that's not really a strong suit. I don't think you'll see me doing too many trick shots, unfortunately for people out there. But yeah, just sort of down to earth, local level, entry level table tennis conversations really, and then yeah, hopefully get some league highlights and some play going on. So yeah, just trying to learn as much as I can, learn how to edit properly, which is a very tricky skill set to have, and yeah, other bits and pieces like that really.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you got some grand plans. And you can hold me to my word that I'm happy to get involved and really want to get involved in helping with, your channel or the league or whatever. Like anything, kind of. I know you're it feels like you're the social media guy for Bath Table Tennis Leagues. So yeah, I'm happy to to help take some load in that regard wherever I can. And I'll come down to Cambridge at some point. We'll have a game and we can put some highlights on YouTube or whatever. As long as it's not too embarrassing. Yeah. Oh, maybe embarrassing is the better because it gives people a laugh. I've had some horrendous misses this year, so yeah, I'm glad some of those weren't filmed. But yeah, no, that sounds really, really great, and I really think you're doing some great work. So
yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, that's why we probably didn't mention our summer league experiences from last year, but maybe that's a conversation for another time. Yeah. But no, that's it from me today. Thank you very much, Tim, for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure, and catching up with you during this sort of horrible situation we're in at the minute. I'm glad you're keeping safe and well, and loving the non-haircut life as well. Share us as much as you can, and also make sure you join in down there in the comments, and comment on a couple of topics me and Tim have touched on today. Reach out to us if you want any advice on playing locally and doing bits and pieces like that. If you can, I'd really appreciate if you pop it on your social media, so your Facebooks, your Twitters. Let's go old school. If you still got a MySpace, I don't know whether it works anymore. I think Bebo's could put, but yeah, anything like that. Instagram, I don't know how you Snapchat stuff, but do that as well. And TikTok, I don't know if you could make a little meme or something, but that's beyond me. If you got TikTok skills, then let me know and we can explore that because that's all new. But yeah, otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Like I say, thank you, Tim, as well. I've been Mark. That was an horrendous outro, but I'll see you guys later. Cheers. Thank you.